let me go ahead and say this. I genuinely do think that this could be the last time we ever see the Worldwide Download Celebration ever be formatted in this particular format that we have at the current moment when it comes down to how Dokkan does it and how we have it before or after. Once we hit the 10th anniversary and we are fully, almost completely 100% sync with banners and everything, I think the worldwide download celebration will be moved so that it will now be, instead of being at the start time of usually around the end of August, I think that the worldwide download celebration will start at the exact same time as the part one for Global's anniversary. So I'm thinking that Global Anniversary becomes a global celebration for both games. And if you want to know why, you can keep watching the video and I will explain to you right now. And for those new who are new here, my name's Razora. If you like what I'm about to see, drop a like, drop a subscribe, and let me know what you like about the content. Alright, let me go ahead and break down to you exactly why I'm thinking this Worldwide Download Celebration is the last one that we'll have in this specific timestamp and format. And that's mainly due to the fact that the banners have always been themed so that it's always having a certain character appear every single time. So we always had the two new Dokkan Fest characters when it comes to the banner unit and the main one. We have the Golden Week character that usually appear around either April to May, and then we usually have the New Year's character that always appears. We then have the last year's worldwide, and then we have usually, interesting enough, we have last year and a half ago anniversary. So this is the 8th anniversary units in the ninth anniversary year. Then we have essentially almost the eighth year of the game's New Year characters. We have essentially the 7th anniversary's worldwide download celebration year. And then we have the two characters who technically respond to these years when it comes down to like the theme. This is what makes this game so interesting, is the fact that they always bring back the essentially previous year's anniversary character. And that's always been the case, and my assumption has been is the fact that because of Global has their anniversary the month before the Worldwide Down celebration starts. And that usually meant that if you wanted to summon for the new characters, if Amazu wasn't thinking well, they would immediately just put the new characters onto this banner for Worldwide Down Celebration, and so you would have a double chance of pulling the new character that you want, and it would be accessible in the pity system, which I don't think is what the team wanted because that will clearly decrease the amount of capital and money they can make off of players. Which is why we always had this case right here, and that the fact that the characters are returning way too soon. But likewise, in the Legendary Summon Carnival, there's a bit of a shift here when it comes to actually seeing what the established pattern is, because we have the new character. We have the last time the previous what they call carnival character has appeared, which was in this case was be the trio, which appeared during I think around the end of November, if I remember correctly. They appeared around the end of November. This guy is from last year's Worldwide Download Celebration, and then this guy is from last year's 8th anniversary, for Global in this case. Then these guys from the 7th anniversary, and I assume this case, if its anniversary had a carnival, they would also be here in this case. So we're starting to see the pattern, the fact that they're more willing to put the new anniversary characters that we usually have in the middle of January and February, right into these Worldwide Download Celebration. So my thinking has always been the case that Worldwide Download Celebration has always been a celebration that focuses on the uh, joined interaction and community for both the Japan and global Dokkan communities. So, what would be a bigger way to essentially celebrate that community if they were to take over Global's anniversary? Now that Global essentially is now on the same pace and now fully synced with Japan, Japan and Global will be celebrating the Japan's anniversary and getting the Japan anniversary characters first in January, and that leaves a time slot open. In this case, in the middle of July and August, where they usually have time and now pretty much open. Are we gonna get the same Tanabata characters? That's a possibility. Like if we go back through, let's start off from in 2023, since that's the year that's the most complete recently. We usually start off with the New Year's characters, that then devolves into a case where we get a pity character, where we get the anniversary. The anniversary immediately comes up. We get the new anniversary. We get the carnivals. Then we get to a filler banner right here. So the filler I think was in this case was Android 17. Let's see if we can pull them up. Yep, Android 17. And then we go into, if I remember correctly, we go into straight into, oh, never mind. We had another character also appear before this. Huh, we had Kale that came with this afterwards. No, Kale is that, yeah, anniversary. Wow, I'm completely forgetting how dead 2023 was. So yeah, 2023, after the anniversary, there's the filler banner character with Super 17. Then we go into Saiyan Day with the God Goku. And then we go into the April filler banner when it comes to it, which is Kale. And then we go into another hype one, which is the Dual Dokkan Fest, which was this case was Dragon Ball. Once we head into Dragon Ball, we then went back to another filler period after LR Boma, which was in this case, let me keep going through, which was Turles right here. Turles came through, and then when Turles ended, this is when the start of the Worldwide Down, not Worldwide Down celebration, Tanabata started. So if you're starting to see like the pattern here is the fact that we usually have like big hype celebration, dead character or filler character, hype celebration, dead character, hype celebration, dead character, and that's what usually the first 6 months of Dokkan usually is when it comes to their scheduling. But then we get into Worldwide, where we get the LR character, then we get the new Carnival LR character, which was the Mega Shenron, the dead character, and the filler character in this case being Trunks, and then we go straight into Worldwide, where we get the big characters, we get the big kahunas, we get like the big guys, we get the big characters playing out here now. And once we get the big characters, we immediately jump into, if I recall correctly, almost a dead period for like the next 4 months when it comes to Dokkan. And this has always been a weird thing when it comes to Dokkan schedule, is that there's a weirdly weird and long period of a dead time that happens in this time. Because like characters are not really released. Like we got the Android 17 and 18 that came out. They didn't have a team yet, and that was a filler character. And then once we keep going, this would be like, after Android 17 and 18, we expect it to like a big hype character to come carry the thing. The next one was just another regular Dokkan Fest in the form of Gohan and Piccolo. Then we go into Dragon Ball Superheroes, which I don't even know if that's going to happen this year because of the fact that the game is now essentially EOS'd. And now we're getting the new one. I forget what the name is called, but that's going to be replaced now. So what's going to happen to that time slot as well? And then we keep going with TURs up until 12/7/2023, where we get the big celebration with the new Carnival character that gets released thematically with the filler character for Dokkan Fest. And so you see that there's like a consistent theme of characters that are essentially don't carry a bigger hype than you initially think, because now we have to wait until it's almost the end of the year to get the next Dual Dokkan Fest, and there's 3 previous TURs that then get released at that time span. If you saw what the pattern, it's usually been like characters that have generally carried like very hype and very much been very important, but that November, October, and December time slot is still very dead until the end where we get that Dual Dokkan Fest. So what my thinking is that now that we're going to be synced, they essentially are going to be able to remove a certain dead slot when it comes down to the Worldwide Download Celebration characters, and the fact that these banners won't appear for global. They won't have a anniversary, so it's very likely that this Worldwide Download Celebration could easily be moved up to the global anniversary time. This would also cover for Tanabata, because now Tanabata becomes a bigger celebration in that it can be represented as Tanabata celebration in Japan, but then global anniversaries or global celebration in the global version. So it can be, the naming could be different, but then there'll be 2 anniversary characters or 2 anniversary level characters and 2 carnival characters, making Tanabata a lot more of a bigger celebration. Which means that those characters will be then now pushed forward, and that will be a bigger time slot. Plus, that would make it so that the 10th anniversary characters that will appear for the 10th anniversary Worldwide Download Celebration, they would appear instead of this character, like the 8th anniversary for the 9th anniversary, and then also in this case it would be the SSJ for Vegeta and Goku. But then people are going to be asking, like, when would Beast Gohan and Broly come out? I think there's a likely chance that Beast Gohan and Broly, because we got the the Tanabata banner so early in this year, they're going to make that banner again at December and give us tickets. So that means they're going to be like, hey, we're going to give you some additional tickets, because we know that next year we're not going to give you another, the 4th chance to pull Beast Gohan. Instead, what they're going to do is they're going to shift it so that way the 10th anniversary characters are now going to be shifted onto those Worldwide Download Celebration banners. Which is going to be, I think, a lot more value for people, because then it spaces it out so that way Japan and Global both get the characters in January. They get 6 months before they get the new Worldwide Download Celebration characters, but then the anniversary characters are now on a banner that they can summon for that has more value than the other banner. Because one of the biggest problems when it comes to with Dokkan and the anniversary characters is that they always return on a very bad banner. Like the anniversary for that year always returns on a banner with at least 20 to 30 SSRs, which always been bad. Like, let's see right here. If you ever look at this, like we have at least 10 to 15 different characters on this banner that you could summon for, and this has never been provided any value. Most people usually just wait to get coins and then coin the anniversary for that year. But if they choose to change it so that the way the worldwide download celebration has the banners be on the July and June, July, August time that Global has their anniversary, there's more of an opportunity for them to actually bring back the carnival banners and the anniversary characters that appear during the January one, bring them in August, then do I don't know like a mini celebration where they could do that one usually Dokkan Fest LR and also like a Carnival LR. Like instead, what if they replace the Android 21 slot that they usually do, and instead make it so that that's where the Tanabata usually one Dokkan Fest LR and one Carnival LR there. That way, the hype of the year is generally carried on, and we didn't have that lull dead period that we would have for the last 3 months of the game time that we have for that one year. Because then now the game carries over a lot more hype, and it carries usually a lot more level of anticipation and excitement. I think this is what likely is going to happen when it comes down to this year, because this has always been a weird slot for the Dokkan Fest banner, usually for Worldwide Down Celebration. Especially now that we're seeing that Broly has the new characters always in this time slot. Like, well, I don't have it on the global version, but if you look at the JP version, if we decide to go to the JP version of this banner, yeah, they're right there. The Gammas are right there, right in front of Square Center View, which means that Gogeta's gonna be on whichever the Part 2 banner is that's coming out this Wednesday, or this Thursday likely. Which means that I think this has always been a slow change. I think these are like the little hints that have been telling us that worldwide, as a format that we know of it of this way, is going to end, and that next year is going to be a complete revamp of how the schedule it works. So I think there's very likely a chance where Tenabata could be moved then for the end of November to be a big celebration where with the Android 21 and that SSJ trio that for that Android 13 movie, that will become a Dokkan Fest LR and a Carnival LR slot. And that's what I think likely is going to happen for this game. It's not likely going to change it, it's going to shift it. It's going to make this game a lot more interesting, a lot carry the hype a lot more when it comes down to how this game is formatted. And that's how I'm usually thinking about it, because anyway, that would make Dokkan have a lot more hype when it comes down to how it's executed and a lot more of the celebration. But yeah, I think that's what all I wanted to say when I mentioned about this, because I wanted to make sure that people would see if this could be a possible option, and also I think this is likely something that will help them create revenue, and also from the player side as well as developer side when it comes down to Bandai. But let me know what you think. Tell me know if I'm looking over like overlooking anything, because there's definitely a case where I could be overlooking like what exactly helps with this format versus the next format that I'm discussing when it comes down to it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and tell me what exactly you disagree with. All right, I'll see you guys later.